straight up my laptop's not connecting to Wi-Fi just because I'm on the other side of the door. So I'm just gonna go inside and finish this up, dude. What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to another beautiful day over here on the channel. Today I'm gonna be doing something that I've never really done before, and I'm actually gonna sit down and address the haters. I know it's frowned upon. Some people say not to do it, but this big, long conversation, this huge, hateful conversation that I had with some random individual yesterday is worth chatting about, because it kind of opened up a can of worms on my end of just some things that I feel need to be addressed. But I mean, dude, also, this is a disclaimer that there's going to be a lot of bad words said in this video, a lot of profanity. It's not anything that I said. But it's going to be coming out of my mouth as I read the messages, but it's nothing that I said. But it's just a disclaimer. I just wanted to let you know, so if you have any little kids in the room, you can cover their ears or do whatever you need to do, because I'm literally going to sit down right here and I'm going to go over this whole entire conversation that I had with this random hateful dude yesterday, just word for word, verbatim. I'm going to say everything that I said, everything that he said. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm going to put it all out there, because if you didn't know, that's a recurring theme on this channel. I put it all out there. So I don't understand why stuff like this happens, but it does, and I feel it needs to be addressed, and that's what we're going to do today. Okay, bear with me, because I've never made a video like this before, and I was getting set up outside, and I didn't have any Wi-Fi out there right on the other side of the door. So I had to move inside. I'll probably move to various locations inside throughout this video just to keep things interesting. But regardless, I'm just going to jump right into it. And I want to say, dude, I get so much hate. Like, I get hate comments. I get hate emails. I get hate Facebook Messenger messages. I get hate texts. One time I was eating dinner with my family and got a random call. That was some hate. I absolutely do not get it. I will say one thing, though. I've never received any hate comments in person. It seems to be a recurring theme with all of these weird hate-filled individuals. I don't get it. It is what it is. So this story begins, I will say, on, let's say, dude, see, I'm already having technical difficulties trying to figure this out. I emailed myself all of the screenshots of the conversation that I had with this guy yesterday on Facebook Messenger. I've never really put any of this out there. Sometimes I talk about it in the videos, but I never really put it out there because I don't want to give light to any of this or any of these clowns. But this particular conversation, I did find some comedic value there. So I figured it'd be worth sitting and just reading, just shooting the breeze with the homies as if we were just sitting, because this is the most interesting thing that happened in my day. The days are boring around here sometimes, but I always vow, as a daily vlog channel, my vow to the channel is to always just post the most interesting thing of my day. And sometimes that is Skiff related stuff. Sometimes it's truck related stuff. Sometimes it's me being scammed. I actually get scammed quite often. Sometimes it's, drama like this. So you're going to get a little bit of everything on this channel. But I just got into, I sent myself a bunch of screenshots, and I sent myself a screen recording just in case. And I'm glad I did, because all of my screenshots were out of order. So I'm going to resort to the screen recording of a Facebook Marketplace conversation that I had with let's just say an individual yesterday. And it started early yesterday and it bled into last night. It's on the post was for the 2012 Ram 1500 that I kind of spruced up 2 videos ago. That's where this took place, of all places. But he definitely talks way more than just about the truck. I just wanted to let you know that's where this started. It wasn't even Skiff related. But let me get all this situated, and then let's just jump right into it. I also completely understand that talking about this in this context is going to open a lot of doors for other potential haters. It is what it is, dude. You guys were going to hate anyway. If this video is going to make you want to hate, you were already somebody that was probably going to hate on the channel. Anyway, dude, I seriously don't get it. I just try to keep it real. It's going to be a recurring theme in this conversation, but just to let you know, if you've never been here before, like if you're new here, I post everything. I keep it as real as humanly possible. I show the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the wins, the losses, literally everything. So, I mean, dude, I don't know. Let's just get into it. So I'm chilling yesterday, getting the boat ready to go out on the water, and I check my phone, Facebook Messenger, whatever, Marketplace, and I see that I get a message from a guy named Barry. And he said, "I'm in Jacksonville. Can I come check it out?" Keep in mind, remember this, that he said he's in Jacksonville. I'm just going to leave that right there. "I'm in Jacksonville. Can I come check it out?" I said, "Yes, sir. I still have it." And he then said, "Looks like a good truck for work or around the farm. Free to come check it out?" Question mark. And I instantly thought that was kind of interesting because in my video, I referenced it as being a really good truck for like a farm truck because there is some bed rust. It's got a lot of miles. It's a good truck. It runs fantastic. But I mean, it's a high mileage Ram with bed rust from chemicals and whatever. So I specifically said it was a good truck to be a farm truck. And so I was like, this is weird. But I said, "Yes, sir. I'll be free in about 2 hours if that works for you." And I said I'd be free in 2 hours because at the time that I sent that message, it was a little bit later than the first initial message. I got a little busy. But I was at the boat ramp about to put the skiff in the water to go to the sandbar. And it just so happened that I had a Propel in my hand. Okay, I was drinking a Propel, putting the skiff in the water, getting ready to go to the sandbar. So the last message I said was, "Yes, sir. I'll be free in about 2 hours if that works for you." He said, "I'm at the sandbar right now on my skiff. Let me see what time I could come see it. How far are you in Jacksonville?" And I was like, interesting. I said, "No way, man. That's awesome. What sandbar?" Because I'm thinking that this really is random. And I'm like, dude, no way. We're about to run into each other at the sandbar. That's going to be really cool. He said, "It's a small one by Beach Boulevard, just a little cruise spot. Load up the Propels, and it's a good day." Dude, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Because I'm going to that sandbar with a Propel in my hand. So I'm looking around. I'm thinking of who was it that was just at the boat ramp that, dude, I should have taken more note of or whatever. And I got some people in mind, all right? I got some people in mind. But, dude, I'm like, all right, brother, like you're messing with me now at this point. It's the exact same sandbar that I go to. I have a Propel in my hand right now. At this point, I was kind of thinking like, oh, it's just somebody from the channel joking around. Maybe they saw me or whatever. Because I do get a lot of love as well. Dude, I get love in the Facebook Marketplace, Messenger, YouTube comments, emails, whatever. I do get a lot of love as well. And dude, you guys are the homies. I only have one kidney, but if I had two and one of you guys needed one, I'd give you one. So I appreciate you guys more then I dislike these bad guys. Does that make sense? But dude, I get hate like this all the time. So I then say, haha, are you trolling me? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, it sounds like you're joking with me because I go to that same spot with propels. I didn't allude to the fact that I'm going to that spot right now with a propel, just on the off chance that this guy was at the sandbar and this wasn't a troll somehow. I would like to surprise him, I guess. It'd be silly. But I told him, like, it sounds like you're joking with me. And he said, you have a boat, question mark? That's cool. I had no idea. Small world. I said, now I know this is a joke. Because that's not how you would respond to that if this was legit. If you were legit and you were just like, oh, I'm going to the sandbar, so I'll come check out the truck later. And I'm like, oh, dang, you go to, like, what sandbar? I go to a sandbar. The response would not be, you have a boat? That's cool. No idea. Small world, brother. We live in Florida on the coast. Like, it's really not that small of a world. Like, everybody has a boat. But I'm just saying, like, that's not like a shock factor type of thing. So I said, now I know this is a joke. And I was like, just keep it real. Is this a troll? Are you trolling me? He said, I am confused. And this is where it went downhill. And trust me, it goes downhill very fast. He said, I'm confused. I wanted to buy the truck to sell it at Wholesale 360 where I work in Jacksonville. Think it would go well in our auctions. Now, also, if you're new here, like I said, I get scammed all the time. I get scammed pretty regularly, actually. Probably every single time I buy something. Which is, it is what it is. You got to get good at fixing stuff around here. But regardless, whenever he said that, I was like, oh, goodness, all right, you're just trolling me. I'm glad I didn't send you the address already to come check out the truck. But I said, all right, bud, have a good one. Like, haha, silly. You got me. Funny joke. But then he says, does the truck need liquid gasket maker? Might dump some in it and list it without a title. If it sells to some idiot for less than I want, I'll say I lost the title. That is a call back to the last video of my wife's Jeep that has a blown head gasket. And I put some head gasket sealer in there, and brother, she drives it every day and it drives great. No check engine light came back, no smoke. Head gasket seems to be holding up for now, but I mean, it's just a Band-Aid. I said that over and over again in the video that I made. I wasn't like, dude, I'm going to put head gasket sealer in this and then I'm going to sell it to an unsuspecting victim. No, dude, my wife is driving it. It's driving fantastic. She loves it, puts a smile on her face. She's going to drive it until the sealer blows, and then I'll get in there and actually change the head gasket. So it's like, all right, funny joke, I guess. But I said, like, this at this point, I still wasn't sure what was going on. So I was like, are you joking or are you actually just being an asshole right now? He said, what? I'm so confused. I just wanted to get the truck. Would you take $500 and a shitty truck bed lined skiff for it? I said, all right, man, cheers. Just I tried to put a piece on it. Just like, all right, peace, man. Good one. You got me good. But he said, take those propels slow. Wouldn't want to accidentally go over 20 miles per hour on a jet ski, little guy. Now he's calling back to my last couple Sea-Doo Fish Pro videos where I've been going like 20 miles an hour because for some reason the jet ski is like pulling a little to the side and kind of nosediving a little bit. So, I mean, I'm going slow for valid reason. I still have to dial it in. Something's up with it. I'll figure that out. But at this point, I'm like, okay, dude, like, random hater in the chat, but you watch every single video. You just recalled the last, like, 5 of my videos. So it doesn't make any sense at all. But he said, You wouldn't want to accidentally go over 20 miles an hour on a jet ski, little guy. And I was like, little guy? Haha, dude, like, that's when I'm like, all right, now it's just some Facebook beef because these are things that you don't say to people. Because, like, you'll get like punched in the chin. You know what that's not even like some like crazy bravado or whatever. It's just people who walk around throwing little shots like that, randomly little disrespectful shots. These are people who haven't gotten punched in the chin enough in their life to this point. And I definitely will punch you in the chin. And that's not some like crazy alpha talk or whatever. It's literally just like whenever you just like blatantly disrespect somebody, at some point you got to start throwing hands. But whatever. I said, little guy, question mark. He said, don't use that tone with me, little man. And this is at the point where I was like, can you refresh my memory on why you don't like me? LOL. Like, what is the beef? I don't even know who you are. Okay, I keep switching locations, just trying to keep it fresh. But yeah, dude, I said I don't even know who you are. And he said, it's above your IQ, little man. Keep bedlining those skiffs. Maybe one day you will throw those flip-flops away, become a man and not a sissy boy. You are the biggest scammer in Jacksonville. So, dude, I mean, now he's just like talking that ish. You know what I'm saying? It's not really legit anymore, but I figured I'd entertain it a little bit longer just to see where this would go. I said, I'm the biggest scammer? Question mark, LOL. The guy that posts everything online is a scammer? It's not adding up to me. He said, lipstick on a pig is all you do and scam people. I don't get it. I said, I'm not really interested in some random Facebook beef. I hope you find peace, though, brother. Cheers. And that's the second attempt of trying to put a piece on it and just kind of let's just both go our own ways. This is random and ugly and a waste of time. Keep in mind, dude, I'm a husband. I'm a father. My wife is pregnant with our second baby. I work every single day trying to problem solve things every day. So, dude, I don't got time to stress over this weird guy. But when I tried to put a peace sign on it, he was like backing away when confronted. Keep scamming. I was like, all right, dude. Like, I usually don't sit here and go back and forth ping-ponging with the haters, but at this point, I think I was driving the boat back from the sandbar back to the boat ramp. So I was like, man, I kind of got some time pushing this Yamaha 15. I'm not going anywhere fast. I might as well sit here and chat. I said, it's not a confrontation. Tell me what the scam is. Because you got to understand, you just messaging me telling me I scam people is not a confrontation. If you decided to like stand in front of me face to face and say like, you scammed me doing this, or you scammed this person doing this, or whatever, that is a confrontation. This is just some beef, some random beef. Dude, it doesn't make sense. But I said, this is not a confrontation. What's the scam? He said, everything you sell is trash. You can't fix anything. You take advantage of people on Marketplace, and that's why Karma scammed you with the government auctions. So I had to stand up for myself a little bit right there. I said, LOL, I don't sell trash, man. I do good work, and also I post everything that I do. And I walk through everything with anyone that comes to buy anything from me. I'm actually one of the most honest guys on YouTube and also Facebook Marketplace. So just because you don't like me for some reason doesn't make me a scammer, brother. But I appreciate the effort here. You seem like a great guy. And this is where I figured it would open a can of worms because for some reason, so many haters like to jump on this. Like they'll say that I just do trash work or whatever, and it is what it is, dude. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to say I'm somebody that I'm not, dude. I keep it so real, and I say like, this is not a how-to channel. Like the skiff that I've been riding the past couple of sessions, I truck bed lined and I exterior painted it all over. Like, I think if you want to sit down and leave a comment about like me not doing good work, dude, I think like we kind of addressed that that's a waste of time. Like we don't take things seriously around here. I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I'm literally just trying to put a boat on the water, make it look sweet. You know, at some point in my life, I might try and dial in the fiberglass. Dude, like the numbers related to fiberglass, like 701. Like, dude, I don't even know the numbers. Like, dude, I'm just trying to make boats float and catch fish and cruise to the sandbar. And I try to put it all out there and hang out with the homies and have a silly goose time. But some people think that there's some like rules you have to follow or something on this YouTube stuff, and I don't follow those rules, so it ruffles some feathers. So I figured that people would be like rush into the comments after that and be like, "You do actually do trash work?" Like, no, I don't do trash work. It's just not the work that you usually see on Facebook or on YouTube. So it is what it is. Stuck up for myself a little bit right there, though. But I'm still trying to keep it respectful. Also, it is very true. I post everything on YouTube, and if anybody wants to come buy something, I spend so much time going through everything about it. So there's obviously no scams being done here. Dude, I was trying to find another spot, but I'm back to the first spot, already struggling to keep things interesting. But like I said, I figured that would open a little can of worms because there is a section of people on this channel who just love to come out and just like tell me that my work is trash. But it is what it is, brother. It is what it is. I still have fun fishing out there, and the boat that I just made is sweet, dude. Nobody's gonna tell me differently. But he said, "You can lie to yourself, but not me. I have seen 3 posts about you scamming people. You sold a canoe to a man with a hole and didn't tell him. You are the problem and act like a child. Keep making your little videos and no one cares." But he said canoe, Ganoe. That ain't no gnu. He's clearly not a skiff homie. Ain't no real skiff homie saying canoe like that. But I said, LOL, now I know you're full of shit. I've only ever sold 4 gnu's, and they're all still being fished by the current owners. Like I said, man, I'm not interested in this, whatever this is. I'm not a scammer. You don't exactly seem like someone I care to prove that to. I still have no idea why people like you still watch the videos, but it is what it is. Again, man, I hope you find peace. It seems like you have hatred in your heart, and I wish you the best. I won't be responding anymore. I really wasn't going to respond. I actually put my phone in my pocket and forgot about it until I got to the ramp and I was getting the boat out of the water. And if you saw the end of yesterday's video, my trailer literally snapped. The frame snapped and it bummed me out. Dude, I was bummed. So I'm like just sitting in the truck. It started to rain. And then I was like, dude, this isn't a bad time to just go back to the hater conversation. See if we can just get some steam out, I guess. Let's see. Let me go back. I went back too far. Hold on. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm new here. Anyways, that's when I said like I won't be responding anymore. And dude, I'm kind of glad that I did keep responding because this is where the comedic value comes in, is this portion of the conversation. He said, Keep holding your mic 3 feet away and lying to yourself. Sad little man. Has to scam people to put food on the table. Stop responding. That's fine. Won't change the fact that you're a scamming loser. My videos have way more views and don't lie to people. You are the top 10 marketplace scammers in Jacksonville. We'll be adding you to the list. And this is when I was like, all right, I said, name one thing I lied about. Dude, I challenge any of you, any of the haters that want to come out of the cracks right now, try and find one thing that I've lied about. Legit lied about on the channel or on Marketplace, anything. He said, your channel's a lie. You're so stupid. That made no sense. I said, okay, so you can't say something that I lied about? He said, I'll link you my video when I'm done editing the top 10 marketplace scammers in Jacksonville. I average over 200,000 views. I'll have it all in there, man, child. Like, okay. I said, okay, so again, you can't say something I lied about. It seems like you just don't like me, but you can't say anything I lied about because I'm the most honest guy on YouTube. So, I mean, I'll wait for you to think of something. That's what I said. Because it's true. Dude, I keep it so legit. I keep it so real. Not only do I keep it real in the videos, I literally show everything, and I show the behind the scenes stuff because I'm trying to like lead the way for other individuals who are trying to create a path themselves similar to this one. So I talk about the financials behind everything and whatever. So it's not always glamorous stuff over here. It literally is realistic day-to-day life going on over here. So sometimes it is exciting, sometimes it's not. But that's what I said. I said, like, I'll wait for you to think of something. He said, if you don't know, then that's a problem. What a joke you are. I'll link you the video when it's done. Sad to see people like you hurting the community, which is wild. That is a wild statement to make because all I want to do is help the community. If you watch any of the videos, I would hope that message is being kind of screamed across the platform rather than anything else, especially any harm towards the community. I said, again, you can't say anything I've lied about. You know you're wrong. And this is when I started to get kind of playful because whenever you're dealing with somebody like this, if you try to if you sit there and beef with them, you get in the pocket and start throwing bar fight punches, it'll just go on forever, you know? But if you start to kind of act like this, like bring the facts, just say the facts. I'll wait for the facts. Then those start to like short circuit. I don't know if they just build their whole brand off of just throwing random punches and hoping that they hit or what, but whenever you start to press them back a little bit about the facts, they shut down. I guess it's not exactly that they shut down, but they start to short circuit. They start to say stuff like, well, dude, I mean, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know what you lie about, I'm not going to tell you. Dude, it's because you don't have anything to tell. But then he said, he tried to pull something out. So he said, you lied about the GNU, spelled it the dumb way. You lied about the Skiff you bedlined. You're going to sell that blown up Jeep as quote unquote fixed. The Dodge is trash and you know it is, and you posted it like it's fine. You're a joke and you're worse than wholesale 360. So I responded and I said, I never sold a GNU with a hole in it, so that's BS. If you watched the Jeep video, you'd know that's also BS. And the truck is a really good truck. It just has bed rust, exactly described in the post. So where's the lie? Also, how did I lie about the Skiff I bedlined? I made a whole entire video about bedlining it. This is a sad attempt at whatever you're trying to do. I feel like you should get your facts straight first. Because in this particular Facebook Marketplace listing, I literally just said the truck is what it is, and it has a lot of bed rust because of chemicals or whatever. But it is a good truck. It's a good A to B truck. I have a whole video about it saying the same thing, that it's, you're not going to bring it to SEMA or anything. It's literally just a high mileage 2012 Ram 1500 4x4, 4.7 V8, and it'll be good around the farm, and you'll probably get another 100,000 miles out of it. But other than that, it's not much. So he then sends me a really old video, like way before I actually was taking YouTube seriously, of a Ginu flip. It was, I think the title is "Flipping a Boat in One Day Under $1,800." It was a Ginu video, whatever. This is before I actually had homies on YouTube that I'm talking to, because I'm actually talking to you right now. I'm not just like talking to a void. Back then I was talking to a void. So it was kind of awkward. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I still flipped a Ginu. I mean, I bought a Ginu pretty cheap. I got a motor for it, basically the same stuff I do now. But there was a crack in, it was kind of like a hole or a crack in the, like one of the sides in the front, and I fiberglass patched it. Dude, I probably fiberglass patched it wrong back in the day. My fiberglass work now is way better than it was before, but that's the link that he sent me. He said, yeah, keep lying. I have the receipts, fucking loser. You can't lie to me. I was like, dude, that boat doesn't have a hole in it. Where's the lie? Like, I bought a Ginu, I made it sweet, and sold it to some cool guys who still fish it. He said, you putting tape over a hole and saying that it's fixed and taking advantage of people is sweet. I said, I didn't tape over a hole. I fiberglass patched a hole above the water line. Again, keep trying, brother. Because I did. I fiberglass patched it. It was all good to go. But honestly, like when I sold the boat, I didn't make any money off it, I don't think, but it was actually a pretty sweet unit with a Minn Kota, with new batteries, with whatever. It was a sweet Ginu, pretty cheap, but whenever they got there, I told them about every single thing that I did, and they actually were going to flip it themselves, so it didn't matter to them. They ended up not flipping it. They flipped it visually, but they just didn't sell it. They still fish it to this day. They love it. He said, incorrectly, you fiberglassed over tape that will fail, and you did not inform the owner. Everything you do is a half-ass scam. Which, if I didn't film everything that I do, and I didn't tell anybody when they come to buy it of what I do, then I guess you could have an argument there, because some stuff I do is half-assed. Not intentionally, but sometimes you just do what you got to do with whatever resources you have at the time. Like newsflash, I guess, but that's pretty much like the name of the game in flipping stuff. You oftenly wouldn't make a ton of money if you do a lot of like unnecessary stuff. Like this particular hole in the boat, if you even want to call it a hole, it would just be a waste of money to build up this super thick fiberglass wall in this particular area, because it was like a 1980 something Ginu with a super thin wall anyway. It needed a sheet of fiberglass, maybe two, and it's good to go. So like whatever, but I'm saying like you could have an argument there. I'm not gonna lie, but sorry, I tell everybody everything and I show everybody everything in videos. But I said, this is funny at this point, thinking of you scrambling around trying to validate your BS. I definitely told the guys about the patch. They had bigger plans for the Ginu than I did, so they were cool with it. You can't just make shit up, dude. Like, I'm glad you decided to keep responding, though. At this point, I'm having a giggle, which I kind of was having a little bit of a giggle. He said, what's even funnier is thinking of your man-child self in flip-flops acting like you're in the right whenever you're called out. I was like, dude, is that all you got? A flip-flop roast? Dude, these flip-flops are actually tactical. I hide throwing knives in the rubber soles, so they're actually extremely manly. But at this point, he stopped responding. I think it was because I started clapping back at him. These flip flops, dude, put some miles on them. But dude, little did you know, I actually wear flip flops because I got a super mean roundhouse kick that I don't want the top of a shoe to get in the way of the flesh smacking your face if we get into a scuffle. So I wear the flip flops so I can just toss them off and then get some good skin to skin contact. But anyways, he didn't respond for a while. And I was getting kind of bummed because I was like, dude, we're getting fired up. You came at me, and now I'm here. Where you at? So maybe 30 minutes later, I said, damn, is that all I had to do to get you off my back and go away? Just ask you to prove your point? Is that it? Because still, dude, no points have been proven. He said, you are a pussy. Us real men are at work, little boy. Maybe one day you will learn what being a man is. I said, dude, all this slander, but no points being validated. At this point, I'm begging for some validation. I might even try to help you because at this point, it's getting hard to watch. He said, must have struck a nerve when I exposed you. I said, the guy who posts everything, the ups and downs, and is more honest than anyone else on YouTube, you're trying to find a way to call me a scammer? LOL. There's nothing to expose, man. It's all out there. You lying in a video trying to call someone a liar. That's the funny part. He stopped responding again. And I was like, dude, no. Like I said, I'm invested in this dumbass conversation now, so you better stick around. And he didn't respond. And I was like, dude, ask your boss for a break and come back. Dude, like, in that moment, I actually thought it was hilarious because the video I was making yesterday about Mondays, being able to, like, you know, kick your feet up on a Monday if that's what you choose to do so, is a nice luxury. A luxury that I guess this guy doesn't have. So asking him to ask his boss for a break was probably my favorite part of this whole entire thing. It was a real how you like that moment. And then he sent this picture, which is actually super cringe. I'm gonna show you. Like, I'm not gonna take everything down or whatever, but dude, hold on. Let me try and figure out a way to show you this. Dude, cringe to the max, not even gonna lie. Got me good. Obviously, you could barely see it. I should have clicked on it, but whatever. He said, you're exposed, buddy. My video will prove it all. I said, dude, expose what? Bro, you're wasting your time. But then I said, damn, my beard looked kind of good in that screenshot. I should probably shave it to that length again. And that's whenever you start to, like, play around with people like this, they really start to short circuit. So he said, fuck you, loser, scamming fag. No wonder everyone exposed you. Can't wait till you see the video. You are top 5. I said, I'm top 5 biggest wieners in Jax. He said, not what your wife told me, little guy. I said, my wife has the 3rd largest wiener in Jax. He said, I can tell without how much of a bitch you are scamming people. Whatever. Still waiting for you to tell me the scam. That's what I said. You're gonna make a video that's like, this guy bedlined a Skiff, darn scammer. And I'm gonna be like, dude, I'll link the video. There's an hour-long video of me explaining it. Like, anything that you try to call it a scam on this channel, I have an hour-long video of whatever it is that I did. So there's literally no scam present at all. He said, over 200K people watch my daily calling scammers out videos. You wouldn't know about the YouTube checks I get, pussy scamming bitch. I said, damn, why you at work then? Like, you know what I'm saying? He said, I own a business. I know your brain can't comprehend real money. Keep selling lemons. I'm like, dude, now it's like all over the place. I said, calling a Ram 1500 with almost 300,000 miles a lemon is hilarious. Like, what else do you want it to do? It already made it this far. Um, he said, listing it for $6,000 with tire shine and no pictures of the rusted out bed is completely lemon. I said, I'm kind of excited to watch the video at this point, even though it's just going to be a little like AI video because people like you are too scared to put themselves actually out there. And I was like, dude, the description talks about the bed rust. Dude, you're chasing ghosts here. If I didn't disclose the bed rust, you might have a case here, but this one is rough, man. Still though, man, I don't have anything bad to say about you. I just wish you would find some peace. That's all. I'm not full of hate like you. He said, not one picture of it is a scam. Only thing you chase is cocks. And you scam people for a few grand profit. What a joke. Have some dignity. Your kid would be ashamed of the loser scammer you are. Brother. The light turned off for some reason. Okay, lights are back on, back in action. But he said, your kid would be ashamed of the loser scammer you are. I said, LOL, keep trying, man. And I was like, dude, that's not true at all. My daughter thinks I'm sweet. He said, if your viewers knew, they would not give you the small amount of clicks that they do. Sad to see you living a lie. I said, if they knew what? Like, you can't even tell me what the scam is. He stopped responding. I was still into it, but I said, dude, I'm going out to eat with my family. Not sure if I'll come back to entertain this, but if not, I hope you have a good night, brother. He said, have fun at McDonald's, you poor, sad, scamming fuck. Dude, ridiculous. Then he sent a picture that was like a Facebook post of the like who you should look out for buying stuff from on Facebook Marketplace. And this particular post does have like 4,000 views, and it says like, this guy's a scammer, don't like buy stuff from him. But the picture, he very poorly photoshopped one of my profile pictures on to that post. You can tell it wasn't perfectly cut in line. It's actually cringy. He said, see, I'm not the only one who knows you scam. People have been talking about your scams for days. It was so cringe. But to be honest, like, the picture that he used was from like 2 years ago when I was on this like crazy shred diet and I was in the best shape of my life, son. So I was flattered. I was like, damn, I can tell you photoshopped that. Good ass pic though, appreciate it. And he said, keep lying to yourself. And I said, so let me ask you this. What do you want out of this? Like, do you want me to stop making videos or like, what's up? Dude, because I don't understand. All the people that throw hate towards this channel, hate on me for whatever reason, like, what is it that you're wanting to get out of it? Are you wanting me to stop making videos? Are you wanting me to, like, use a different fiberglass resin? Like, dude, what difference does it make in your life? Like, just stop watching the videos. I don't get it. I've never gotten it. I don't get it. I don't get what, like, you hate on it, but you sit there and just keep watching and watching and watching and commenting and commenting and commenting. Dude, I, for some reason, have so much, like, control over your, like, mental well-being. I don't understand it. I've never understood it, but it is what it is. But I asked him, like, do you want me to stop making videos? Dude, just let me know if you want me to stop making videos, because if you say yes, I'll stop. He said, correct. The wrong you have done to people. Stop taking advantage of people. Dude, I do the opposite. I actually get taken advantage of all the time. I get scammed all the time. For example, the Jeep that I bought my wife the other day, that kind of like caused an uproar of people because I called them out for scamming me. And I said, like, don't always think that scammers are going to look like scammers. sometimes scammers come dressed as really nice people. And I got a lot of hate for that because they were like, dude, they told you that it was losing coolant and they didn't know why, and there was a misfire, which is obviously a telltale sign that there's a head gasket problem or a like a cracked head or warped head, whatever. But I was more concerned with the pummeling smoke through my neighborhood the morning after, and that's what I was talking about whenever they said I did not get scammed. But if you go back and watch that video, they were playing the like, I don't know. I actually, it got a check engine light and I just stopped driving it. So I don't really know. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, I got tipped off from an actual homie from that channel who works at a dealership or a shop. And I talked to them and I actually got to hear about all of the backstory of this particular Jeep, where they brought it in multiple times and kept declining the work after diagnostic because they kept saying like, this absolutely needs to like a new head gasket, or like we got to dive in to see if the head's warped. Everything that I said in the videos, they went to the shop and got told, because even on the paper he showed me, it said customer complaining about tons of smoke in the morning, whatever. Dude, I don't just randomly call people scammers, okay? I've only ever actually called maybe 3 people a scammer on this channel, so I don't take it lightly, but the times that I've said it, it's for a good reason. It's not just random. So I would take that as a scam, that they knew exactly what was wrong with the car and just tried to say it has a misfire, and they withheld telling me about the smoke. Dude, if I did that to anybody, if I just was like, oh yeah, Jeep's, it just has a misfire, knowing that it has like a bad head gasket for sure, verified, because it smokes like crazy in the morning. But I just like warmed it up. I got all the smoke out of there, and then sold it to somebody. You guys would call me a scammer for days. So, dude, if you're going to call me a scammer for it, just agree with me for a second that they scammed me. It is what it is. Like, I'm not even complaining. The Jeep's running great. I got it for $5,000. I put some sealer in it. It should hold up for a little bit. Who knows? But it's a good running car. I'm not worried about it. But I'm just saying, I don't take advantage of anybody. I actually like give really good deals. Dude, everything that I sell has sweet lithium batteries in it and really good Minn Kotas. I see trial everything that I sell. I would never sell something that I didn't put on the water multiple times, making sure everything was all good. You don't get that from literally anybody else in the world. Like, you'll get at most a test drive of a vehicle at a dealership and maybe a sea trial on a boat. But other than that, you don't get to see hours and hours and hours of behind the scenes trial and error with the thing that you're about to buy. I stopped responding because I was actually out to eat with my wife and my baby. And he said, the post is no longer up now that you've been called out. LMFAO. And I saw the message and I was like, the fake post that you photoshopped? And like, is that the thing that's not like still up? And he was like, no, the scam ram. I called you out and embarrassed you so bad you took it down. And dude, I did not actually take it down. Like, it was still there. So I was like, oh, no, it's actually still up. That's funny. I said, never took it down, but also I'm definitely not called out or embarrassed. And then he stopped responding, okay? And this is where the conversation gets very interesting. I completely stopped responding. I actually forgot about it. I went on with the night, okay? And later on, I hop back on, and I go to his Facebook profile. And keep in mind, his name was Barry. And dude, when I went to his Facebook profile, because whenever on this messenger thing, it only says Barry. It doesn't say his last name. But when I went to his page, it said his last name. And I realized very fast that this is just a hate page. It's not like somebody's personal page, because dude's name was Barry McCockner. Old Barry McCockner, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, you got me good. But I was on his page, and dude actually looks like a menace to society. The first video that he had that posted was he was drunk driving to a Buc-ee's with a gun and a beer, and that was just the whole video. It got 427 views, but no likes or comments. There was no interaction. But then I scrolled down one more time, and he had another video where he was looking at Pokemon cards in like some supermarket or whatever, and that one did have a comment, because I guess in the video he looked at the Pokemon cards but didn't he didn't buy them. So somebody commented and was like, why didn't you buy them? Like, are you poor as fuck? And I was like, dude, whoa. I was like, I'm like, maybe this guy's his friend and maybe we can chat it up. Because, dude, I'm not going to lie. The eeriness of this guy being so, like, malicious towards me for no reason at all. And there's a chance that he was watching me earlier in the day. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that he was watching me. I have an infant baby, and I got a baby on the way and a wife, whatever. I'm not trying to bring harm my way at all. I don't want to I don't really want problems these days. I have found my zen at home, and I want to keep it that way. So if safety is ever brought into the picture, I get really, really like Papa Bear angry about it, because hate comments on YouTube or whatever. But if you're actually like in my bubble, I actually am on high alert, and I'm actually really trigger happy. So that is all I'm going to say to that going forward. But regardless, I started to think, dude, I know my trailer was really rusty and it was rough, but dude, there's a weird coincidence that there was potentially somebody hating on me so bad at the boat ramp, because that was the only place that I was like, I had to propel. And then he sent me that message while I had to propel on the way to the sandbar. And that's the only place he could have seen me. So I was like, okay, so if you were at the boat ramp, and right when I get back to the boat ramp, I put the trailer in the water, and my trailer just snaps in half. Like, I know my trailer was rusty, but I've driven it around so many times with no issue before. And then this is just a random, I'm not saying that he did anything, but I'm saying this was going through my mind of like, I wonder if he had anything to do with this, because it's not, off the table. He clearly doesn't like me for whatever reason, and just saying really, really nasty things in this chat. So I'm not, putting it off the table that he could have sabotaged my trailer. Obviously, you can go back and watch the video, and it looks like the trailer broke on its own, maybe. I don't know. I looked at it today again, and there was like this really clean line that I didn't see last night, and things don't just break clean like that unless they're on a weld or something. So I do think it's interesting that there is a very, very clean break underneath. But anyways, so I am on the video of the Pokemon cards, and I click on that guy's Facebook who commented, and I went to send him a message of like, hey dude, who's this guy? Because like you seem to be friends with him. I actually was hopeful that maybe this guy was harassing him also, and like maybe we could find some common ground and try and get this guy together. But when I clicked on his page to message him. Lo and behold, I already had a message from him before. It was in my spam folder, and he apparently was trying to sell me his buddy's skiff. He was like, my buddy has this skiff for sale, whatever, if you're interested. And I was just like, interesting that you're friends with Barry McCockner and you've tried to talk to me before. So I literally just messaged him and I was like, oh, looky here, small world. He was like, what's up? Obviously I sounded crazy, like whatever, but I sent a screenshot of Barry and I was like, by any chance, do you know who this is? And he immediately jumped into, oh, I don't have those messages pulled up. I'm not tech savvy enough to actually be on my Facebook Messenger. But he was like, oh, that's my friend Barry McCockner. And I was like, okay, dude, aiding and abetting immediately. I was like, all right, dude, I know that's a joke. Like, are y'all friends or something? He jumped into it immediately. He said, this guy actually is like he just likes to like stir the pot. So he just like messages people and talks shit and whatever. You like just block him. And I was like, I really would just block him, but this is when my like conspiracy brain was going off last night. And I was like, I really would just block him, but now he's talked about my wife, he's talked about my baby, and now it seems as if he was in the same exact place as my belongings being destroyed today. So I can't just block him. I actually want to get to the bottom of this and figure out who he is. But dude was like not gonna tell me who he was. And this guy, I'm just gonna reference him as like, dude, I don't even know. Let's call him Jake, because I don't remember his name. But Jake was not giving up the name to Barry. And I was just like, after a while of like actually trying to lock in like some help, I finally was like, all right, dude, honestly, I get it. You don't want to like turn in your homie. I'm not going to force you to rat him out. But dude, I like went through and like screenshotted his whole entire friends list. And I was going to like go through and like vet everybody on his page and be like, dude, do you know Barry McCockner? Are you Barry McCockner? So dumb. But I finally was just like, dude, you're aiding and abetting, bro. You're not the homie. Because the first message he did send me was like, dude, I watch all your videos. I have a I have a homie skiff for sale, whatever. Dude, is the dude's skiff you're trying to sell, is that Barry McCockner? Like, I just want answers, bro. Because if you're going to Facebook beef this hard, you might as well put your real name out there. Because, like, none of these people are actually, like, dude, they're all just insecure little weirdos. But, dude, when I started to reference what happened to my property, I didn't want to say anything about my trailer or whatever. But I did say that he was in the same area as something very unfortunate happening to my property. You know anything about that, Jake? And he was just like, well, dude, whatever's like going on between you and Barry McCockner, just keep that between y'all. That has nothing to do with me. And I was like, well, dude, kind of at this point, it has something to do with you because dude's being real harsh to me and you know who he is and you don't want to tell me who he is. So you kind of are a part of this. But he was just like, have a good night. Dude, respectfully, I was kind of like going off the deep end last night. But weirdly, right at the same time that I was messaging Jake, I get messages from Barry McCockner. Again, randomly. And he starts to kind of tweak out. It wasn't the same type of text as it was earlier in the day. But Barry says, Um, I was just messing with you, man. I watched the videos and wanted to try to be one of the trolls one day. Um, I don't think you scam anyone. No, hold on, I lost it. um, dude, I lost it. Oh, there we go. Um, I was just messing with you, man. I watched the videos. I wanted to try to be in one by trolling all day. I don't think you scam anyone. It was for, dude, this is like not even English. It was all for the LOLs, but it did make my day go by faster. Didn't think it would go on this long, but it was a fun time. Sorry if you had any feelings. This whole Facebook page is just for trolling. I thought you'd realize that from the name, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then the dummy says, uh, you can act like I didn't apologize and you can make a video about this. And that's kind of where all the messages stopped because I didn't message him back, little quack, dude. Because it's like one of those pranks where it's like you pour water all over somebody and then you're like, haha, it was a prank. It's like, no, son, the water is already all over me. Like, that's not a prank. That's a real thing that just happened. But also wildly convenient that when I started to talk about what I think happened yesterday, the whole entire like mood switched on both of their ends. Almost like I caught on to something bigger, or maybe they just didn't think I was going to investigate further at all. And maybe I actually just caught them up, and maybe they did have something to do with my trailer, or maybe just Barry McCockner had something to do with my trailer being broken in half. Or it was just rusty, and it was just coincidentally the time that it gave way. Literally at the same exact time that Barry McCockner was in the area. Very weird, but so it's one of the two, one being he's scared that he's going to get in trouble because I'm starting to figure things out. So he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I actually was just messing around, just trying to like evade the whole thing now. Or it's the other one, which is he actually was trolling, but it was just the worst troll of all time because he said some really nasty things. And like, dude, you can't like I said, if I pranked somebody by like kidnapping, I kidnap your wife and like bring her into like an abandoned warehouse and have her tied up, and I'm like punching her like through the blindfold or whatever, and I'm like, dude, bring your husband here with $500,000 cash, and like I like smack her so that she like screams into the phone, and then you pull up with the $500K in a bag, and I'm like, ha, dude, it was just a prank. Like, you can keep your money, and like you take the blindfold off, you're like, ha ha, like it was just a prank. Like, dude, the trauma's already done. It's already been done. All right, prank, whatever. Dude, just trying to troll. I mean, I like this, but like I said, this video really isn't about him. He was just the thing that I gripped onto to make a video about this. Let me explain more what the whole video is actually about. So the whole video really is about me just wanting to bring some light to the haters, I guess. Dude, you never should do that. I know that. I know it's frowned upon, but like I said multiple times in this video, I definitely don't do things the normal way here on YouTube. I just kind of go with the flow. And today, this past week, I've had an influx of random hate that I don't understand. And I get it, dude. They're always going to be there. And it's fine. Literally, earlier on in the channel, I used to take things to heart really bad. And I'd actually question, should I still be doing this? Because like I'm putting a lot of work into this and I'm just getting hate. So I actually used to take it to heart quite a bit. But but now I don't. Now it just is what it is, but I'm just confused about it. But it's one of those things that I'll question for a long time, but I'll never actually get the answer to, because the answer is that these people actually have like hatred in their hearts, and they short circuit when they see somebody actually doing something that they maybe haven't had the courage to do their whole life or whatever. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't wish harm on anybody. I try to tell people that, like, if I ever do respond to a hater, I try to just let them know, like, dude, nobody who sits down and actually hates on a random video, like, if you watch a video and then sit down and start typing up this long paragraph, none of those people have hot wives. None of them. There's zero chance out there that you can be that type of person and also have a hot wife. Okay? Like, there's no, I can't even like explain that more than it is. Like, dude, no hottie out there is gonna respect that. Nobody's gonna think that's cool, dude. You're not the cool guy. I'm just out here vibing. I'm hanging out in the shop, just shooting the breeze with the homies. This is actually a wild video because up until this point, homies never heard me say a cuss word. Unless you're in person. Dude, in person, honestly, sometimes I throw them out there like a sailor. But I keep it PG on the channel, which is another weird thing, dude. Like, don't hate on the good guys. Like, I'm not gonna like directly say that I'm the good guy. I try not to say stuff like that about myself. I don't know, it feels weird. But there's worse people out there that should be getting some hate. Like the people that scam me. Dude, go take all your time and effort and go hate on them. Dude, people that actually should probably get like reprimanded. Yeah, more so than anything, I just want to talk about safety. Okay, because internet trolls are whatever. Okay, if you're talking that mess on YouTube, I take it on the chin. It's comical these days, you little weasels. If you hit me up on Facebook, whatever, like, all right. But dude, whenever safety comes into play, like if you ever actually come in the bubble, because people were like roaming around the shop a few times and I had to shoo them out of there, and they didn't have good intentions. Okay, that's example one. This is another example where homie was like in the vicinity at the same exact time as me and had hateful intentions. Okay, like stuff like that is when I start to address things, because that's when I start to think, is all of this worth it? Because being on YouTube is fun and making videos is fun. Everything about it I find fun and enjoyable. The community that we've been building over here is a sweet community. I love you all to death. But if my family's safety comes into play, then it'll never be worth it. You know what I mean? I'll pull the plug on this thing so fast. And that's kind of how I felt early on in this particular conversation, when I was like, ooh, I'm not really interested in like attracting haters that are like in the vicinity. Like, obviously homie didn't like pull up or say anything, but I'm not putting that past future haters. You know what I mean? So I am going to do my part and just trying to keep it as chill as possible. And this is the weirdest YouTube channel to attract haters. I have no idea why it happens, but for some reason it is, and it happens. And there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than I let on. And sometimes there are safety breaches and whatever that make me question a lot. So going forward, I might have to switch some things up, go to different places. I might have to start filming the videos maybe a day or two in advance. That way you never know exactly where I'm at, if that makes sense. Or for example, like leading up to going out of town, I should probably offset the actual time that I am out of town rather than filming like, oh, hey, I'm not going to be here for the next 2 or 3 days. Um, you know what I mean? So, and then people with bad intentions come and rob the shop, whatever, dude. I or dude, I don't know. Some people like stream sniped me before and like pulled up on me and my wife and my baby at a gas station, and I didn't like that. But dude, I kind of had fun just talking through this dialogue with this random hater. This might be a more often thing. If it translates well, I guess. Like I said, dude, I'm just being the person that I would be if you were here hanging out and we were just sitting across the couch or across the table. We would just be talking about this weird, miserable little hater dude. And Jake, man. Jake, dude, get your act together, Jake. Like like whose team are you on, bro? Are you on the Skiffer team or are you on Barry McCockner's team? I'd advise probably shouldn't be on Barry McCockner's team. I was talking to my wife about it pretty much the whole day, which if you didn't know, between clips and scenes, like, dude, I'm talking to my wife all day, either on FaceTime or texting or calling or whatever. Dude, all day we're chatting. I got security cameras at the house, and some of them I can talk through. And if I don't get like a text back, like we're chit chatting, whatever, I'm like, what's going on, man? We talk all the time. Dude, I'll even like hop on the security camera and be like, "What's up?" We'll chit chat over the security cameras. But yeah, we're literally best friends. And so I was telling her about that the whole entire time. And I tell you, when I was at home and I was sitting on the couch and I realized that dude's name was Barry McCockner, I felt so boomer, bro. I felt like such a boomer. Because I was like, dude, how did I not see this sooner? Got me good. But, I mean, yeah, they're out there. Like, if anybody's considering making a YouTube channel, all I can say is like, dude, I don't even know. I don't have advice for you because I'm still figuring this out on a day-to-day basis as far as the haters. But I would say the biggest thing is try and find some type of comedic undertones, find a laugh in there somehow. I was trying to find some laughs in this one, so I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was some prank or whatever, but dude, I don't know. What do you think? Also, I must say that when I was referencing or talking to my wife about making a video like this today, she gets so stoked whenever I get to just like hang out at the house. So, I mean, I was going back and forth all night of like, dude, should I make a video about this or should I not? But I really was like, dude, I just want to talk to the homies about this, like the real homies, and I want to kind of just address the random haters because I really never do. But just for the sheer fact that my wife got so excited that I wasn't going to have to like go be at the warehouse or on the water for hours and hours and we could just hang out, she was stoked about it. So I was like, all right, let's go. Dude, what if I just double down as a scammer? Like, what if I just, dude, maybe that's what I'll do. Because, like, get called out for it anyway. Maybe I should just start scamming for real. I wonder what life would look like if I started scamming and stopped being an honest guy. I wonder if I'd make more money. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, that's not the case. I actually would. I don't know. Maybe. Dude, should I be a scammer? Like, I can't actually find a valid point as to why I shouldn't be a scammer because all the people that scam me get my big bucks. So, I mean, it's like, dude, let me join the team. I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely never going to be a scammer. I'm going to be the most honest guy until the end, which is really good because I build a reputation with other people, like returning customers, I guess. Dude, it's weird calling the homies customers who come and buy skiffs and whatever, motors and stuff. But I keep it real. My biggest like flaw, I guess, is that I expect other people to keep it real, and they don't. Okay, they don't. But I appreciate you for watching and hanging out, just chit chatting, some dialogue. Literally, like, for example, most of the videos of this context would probably be way more produced than this. There'd probably be like actual screen recordings on the screen and whatever. I I literally just like chat with the homies. So it probably does come across weird, but it is what it is, and I do appreciate you for hanging out. If you made it to this point of the video, you're a legend for sure. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Ah, yes. My wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee. That's in absolutely perfect condition. We've been driving it, dude. It's so good. Everything about it is so nice and so crispy. Like, dude, what if I told you that you could buy this exact Jeep Grand Cherokee for $5,000, put a bottle of head gasket sealer in there, and you'll actually be good for a while? Like, you wouldn't take that deal? I mean, don't answer that. Some people probably wouldn't. I don't know. But, dude, my wife's been driving, and she's been listening to her music and loving it and smiling. Dude, you can't beat it. Like, what else do you want from a car? You know? Like, you want to be able to get in it and drive it and listen to your music and smile, you know? But, dude, honestly, I'm actually kind of, like, shocked that this video is as long as it is. I thought this was going to be like a 15-minute video, just like a little quick hit and run. But no, it's another long one. Your boy can yap, let me tell you that. But like, with that being said, dude, I've been like cruising YouTube, and I'll be seeing 45-minute videos, and they'll be straight up documentaries. This one guy skated all the way across America from California to New York. And it literally was like, the title was a film, skateboarding across America, documentary. And it was 45 minutes long. I was like, dude, straight up 45-minute. Like, dude, this dude skated across America in less time than I could just explain a quick little hater beef. He can skateboard across America faster than I can, like, just mount a trolling motor on a skiff. Like, I'm like, dude, am I doing something wrong? But no, I just do a lot. Like, I work every day, and I try and grab an hour out of every day to share with the homies, because that's what it's about, you know. But I just thought that was silly, dude. I really did think this was gonna be a 15-minute chit chat, and you know, one thing led to another, and here we are. Ah, darn Barry McCockner. Frick. Darn Jake. Whatever, man. Whatever. Appreciate you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, dude. Bye. Dude, I think the biggest scam I ever pulled off, and I still don't know how I pulled it off, is marrying my wife and having babies. Like, because my wife's hot, and I got like a weird brow crease from living in Florida for so long and mean mugging, just walking around mean mugging. I got this crease right here, so that's the scam, dude. I don't know, I got lucky, brother. I guess that's a good scam though, you know. Whatever, dude, I'll see you tomorrow.